Krishna, Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Puri Brajagacharya Ashtotar Satashri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakund Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navadvip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mayi Ki Jai Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, and welcome everyone for Sri Caitanya Caritamrita with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami. It is Thursday, December 5th, 2024 in New York. And tonight we're picking up with Adi Lila, chapter 10, verse number 114, unless someone has a more correct verse. That's what my notes said from last time, because we spoke last time about, yes, Saranga Thakur. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jagannatha Tirtha Vipra Shri Janakinath. Gopala Acharya Ara Vipravaninath. The 78th branch of the original tree was Jagannath Tirtha. The 79th was the Brahmana Sri Janakinath. The 80th was Gopal Acharya. And the 81st was the Brahmana Vaninath. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Jagannath Tirtha was one of the 9 principal sannyasis who were Lord Chaitanya's associates. Vaninath Vipra was a resident of Chanpahati, a village in the district of Burdwan near the town of Navadvip, the police station of Purvastali, and the post office of Samudragar. The temple there was very much neglected, but it was renovated in the Bengali year 1328, AD 1921, by Sri Paramananda Brahmachari, one of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's disciples, who reorganized the Seva Puja, worship in the temple, and placed the temple under the management of the Sri Chaitanya Math of Sri Mayapur. In the temple, as it now exists, the deity of Sri Gaura Gadadhar is worshipped strictly according to the principles of the revealed scriptures. Chanpahati is 2 miles away from both Samudragar and the Navadvip station of the Eastern Railway. Maharaj, do you have anything to say about this one? I certainly am not qualified to comment.
No, I don't really have anything except that Burdwan is now known as Bardhaman.
So I'll read one more here. Text 115. Govinda Madhava Vasudeva Tina Bhai Yan Sabara Kirtane Nache Chaitanya Nitai. The 3 brothers, Govinda, Madhava, and Vasudeva, were the 82nd, 83rd, and 84th branches of the tree. Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda used to dance in their kirtan performances. The 3 brothers, Govinda, Madhava, and Vasudev Ghosh, all belonged to a Kayastha family. Govinda established the Gopinath temple in Agradvip, where he resided. Madhava Ghosh was expert in performing kirtan. No one within this world could compete with him. He was known as the singer of Vrindavan and was very dear to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. It is said that when the 3 brothers performed Sankirtan, immediately Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda would dance in ecstasy. According to the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika 188, the 3 brothers were formerly Kalavati, Rasolasa, and Gunatunga, who recited the songs composed by Sri Vishaka Gopi. The 3 brothers were among one of the 7 parties that performed kirtan when Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attended the Ratha Yatra festival at Jagannath Puri. Vakreshvara Pandit was the chief dancer in their party. This is vividly described in the Madhya Lila, chapter 13, verses 42 and 43. Maharaj, anything you'd care to say here?
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Shamaniti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashtati Deshatarane. Just the point that I've made before, that even in the time of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there were kirtan leaders who were recognized as outstanding. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Panchatattva Prabhu, are you able to read our text 116?
Sure. Ramdas Abhiram Sakya Prema Rashi Shola Sangya Kashta Tuli Yekarila Vangsi. Ramdas Abhiram was fully absorbed in the mellow of friendship. He made a flute of a bamboo stick with 16 knots. Purport. Abhiram was an inhabitant of Kanakula Krishnanagar. Any comments? Should I read on?
Yeah, please read on. My only comment is that sounds like it'd be quite a long flute, depending on the size of that, the bamboo and the distance between the knots.
I just think that's a wonderful name for a village or a town. Kanakula Krishnanagar.
Also,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, that's
so we learn from this verse that from these verses that among the associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there were those who were in Shringar Ras and those who were in Sakhya Ras. It's not that all the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were exclusively in the Shringar Ras. The devotees in the Sakhya Ras were also present. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Prabhur Agya Nityananda Goda Chalila Parasange Tina Jan Prabhu Agya Vaila. By the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 3 devotees accompanied Lord Nityananda Prabhu when he returned to Bengal to preach. Ramdas Madhava Ar Vasudeva Ghosh Prabhu Sange Rahe Govinda Paiya Santosh. These 3 were Ramdas, Madhava Ghosh, and Vasudev Ghosh. Govinda Ghosh, however, remained with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri and thus felt great satisfaction. Any comments? Shall we go on? Bhagavatacharya Chiranjiva Sri Raghunandana Madhavacharya Kamalakanta Sri Arunandana. Translation. Bhagavata Acharya, Chiranjiva, Sri Raghunandana, Madhavacharya, Kamalakanta, and Sri Yadunandana were all among the branches of the Chaitanya tree. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, Sri Madhavacharya was the husband of Lord Nityananda's daughter, Ganga Devi. He took initiation from Purushottam, a branch of Nityananda Prabhu. It is said that when Nityananda Prabhu's daughter married Madhavacharya, the Lord gave him the village named Panjinagar as a dowry. Madhavacharya's temple is situated near the Jirat railway station on the Eastern Railway. According to the Gauroganadesh Dipika, Sri Madhavacharya was formerly the gopi named Madhavi. Kamalakanta belonged to the branch of Sri Advaita Prabhu. His full name was Kamalakanta Vishwas.
Later, we'll find a pastime involving Kamalakanta Vishwas and a supposed debt owed by Advaita Acharya. That will come.
Thank you, Gopalaj.
Hare Krishna.
If Yovanananda Mata would like to read, please go ahead, or Shara. It's family night.
I don't have the Chaitanya Charitamrita with me. I'm just on the phone.
Okie dokie. Shara, do you have the text there? Would you like to read?
I can do the next one if someone else wants to go ahead while I'm finding my book.
Okay, Panchatattva Prabhu, you want to do one more?
Sure. Mahakripa Patra Prabhur Jagai Madhai Patita Pavana Namer Sakshi Dui Bhai. Jagai and Madhai, the 89th and 90th branches of the tree, were the greatest recipients of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. These two brothers were the witnesses who proved that Lord Chaitanya was rightly named Patita Pavana, the deliverer of the fallen souls. Purport. In the Goro Ganadesh Dipika, it is said that the two brothers Jagai and Madhai were formerly the doorkeepers named Jai and Vijay, who later became Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. Jagai and Madhai were born in respectable Brahmin families, but they adopted the professions of thieves and rogues and thus became implicated in all kinds of undesirable activities, especially woman hunting, intoxication, and gambling. Later, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, they were initiated, and they got the chance to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. As a result of chanting, both brothers became exalted devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The descendants of Madhai still exist, and they are respectable brahmanas. The tombs of these two brothers, Jagai and Madhai, are in a place known as Goshahat, or Madhai Tala Gram, which is situated about 1 mile south of Katwa. It is said that Sri Gopicharana Das Babaji established a temple of Nitai Gaur at this place about 250 years ago. Om Jnana Timaranda Shagananjana Silakaya Chakshomani Tamyena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Gurudasa Jayadvaita Swami Iti Namine. So we're all familiar with the pastime of Jagai and Madhai and Lord Nanda and Lord Chaitanya. And what's especially wonderful about the pastime is the transformation that takes place in their characters as a result of receiving the mercy of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. Madhai was especially mortified afterwards by his offense against Lord Nityananda, and was always begging for the mercy of the Vaishnavas and for their forgiveness. I think he also established a ghat there in Sridham Mayapur, along the bank of the Ganges. If I recall, he was advised because he was wondering how on earth he would be able to beg forgiveness again and again. And they said, well, you can do this service. You can establish this god. You can make this god. And Madhai very happily did that. And the visitors to Mayapur would go there to bathe, and Madhai would serve them. So here, Srila Prabhupada saying they became exalted devotees. They went from the lowest of the low to being very elevated in Krishna consciousness. And it's quite a wonder. And very encouraging for all the Jagai and Madhais who live in the Western world, I must say, including myself, that this transformation can take place. Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, would you like to say something?
Our Sakshi Jagai Madhai, Prabhupada several times commented that in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's day, there were one Jagai and Madhai. Now there are so many, but they can be uplifted by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that birthplace, if I recall, there are murtis of Jagai Madhai, and they look just like effulgent first-class Brahmins. So that's we're used to seeing them in pictures as rogues and passionate rogues. But there we find them as the best of the Brahmins. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Praveen Krishna Prabhu says, the Madhai Thala is still present in Katwa. One can honor the prasadam offered to Jagai Madhai deities there. When I heard this verse, I don't remember the last time I ran across this verse, but I was surprised to be reminded that they, in fact, are the 89th and 90th branches of the Chaitanya tree. They're not merely anecdotal characters of low character who are uplifted, but they're actually elevated to the status of being exalted associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which I thought was really something. Shara Matadi, are you able to read the next verse yet?
Sure. Gauda Desha Bhaktira Kaila Shankshepa Katana Ananta Chaitanya Bhakta Nayaya Ganana. Translation. I have given a brief description of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya in Bengal. Actually, his devotees are innumerable. Text 122. Nilachale e Sabha Bhakta Prabhu Sange Duistane Prabhu Seva Kaila Nana Range. Translation. I have especially mentioned all these devotees because they accompanied Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bengal and Orissa and served him in many ways. Purport. Most of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya lived in Bengal and Orissa. Thus they are celebrated as Gaudiyas and Auryas. At present, however, by the grace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his cult is being propagated all over the world, and it is most probable that in the future history of Lord Chaitanya's movement, Europeans, Americans, Canadians, Australians, South Americans, Asians, and people from all over the world will be celebrated as devotees of Lord Chaitanya. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness has already constructed a big temple at Mayapur, Navadvip, which is being visited by devotees from all parts of the world, as foretold by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and anticipated by Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
Thank you. Any thoughts to share on this?
The only thing that came to mind is when this was written, and he's speaking about the big temple in Mayapur being constructed. It still applies to now, where now the TOVP is being constructed. That was the one thing that came to mind.
The big temple back in Prabhupada's day was what we now call the Lotus Building, which is now a small building in Mayapur. Well, how wonderful it is that, yes, there are religious movements that are known for being more or less followed by some particular ethnic group. Greek Orthodox Church comes to mind, Ukrainian Orthodox Church, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement was known mostly as a Bengali movement, even in the time of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The first branch was in Mayapur, second branch was in Calcutta, third branch was in Dhaka, so all Bengali places. And it's spread to other parts of India, but mostly, as far as I recall, the members were Bengalis. Even when in Allahabad, so that's North India, but Prabhupada was among the members. When the preachers went to Allahabad, they heard, oh, there's one pious Bengali man who will help you. But now, Kazakhstan, Ghana, all over the world, people have become Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The usual translation is Bengali Vaishnavas. But there are so many American Gaudiya Vaishnavas, Latin American Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and so on. So how wonderful that through Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's prediction and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's hope are being fulfilled. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Saraswati Mataji says, Pranams, Param Puja Maharaj, and all the Vaishnavas. If Jai and Vijay, as a result of the curse, only had to take 3 births as demons or enemies of Lord Narayan, then why would they come again as demons, Jagai and Madhai, in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela?
To glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tar Sakshi Jagai Madhai. For this pastime to occur, there have to be a Jagai and a Madhai. So these devotees play that role. They weren't cursed to become associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was their good fortune.
Maharaj, I had a question here. The way Prabhupada puts it, he says, it is most probable that in the future history of Lord Chaitanya's movement, Europeans, Americans, etc., people from all over the world will be celebrated as devotees of Lord Chaitanya. So at the time of this writing, he was already seeing these things happening, that people from all over the world were becoming devotees and coming to Mayapur. But here he says specifically they will be celebrated as devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I'm wondering what he had in mind, and I'm hoping that maybe you could shed some light on that.
Well, it's always perilous to say what Prabhupada had in mind, but at least we can observe that at the time of this writing, Krishna consciousness movement was spreading all over the world. Devotees were there, but there weren't yet histories written about the spread of the Krishna consciousness movement. Dr. Stilson Judah had written an early book about Krishna consciousness, but it didn't go into the biography of different devotees who joined. These things were not there. But starting with Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, history has been written, and great devotees are described, and even great, small, whatever, celebrated as associates of Srila Prabhupada, followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Since now there are many other books describing the activities of devotees, especially in relationship to Srila Prabhupada. And books have been written about particular devotees, Brahmananda Prabhu, Jayananda Prabhu, quite several. So now it's fulfilled. And we'll hear more. As time passes, we'll hear about people will have to write books about these great devotees of my generation and later generations. It's not over yet.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. That was my sense, but I was very happy to hear it from you.
Hare Krishna.
Panchatattva Prabhu asked, can it be said that the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada and his disciples are more chapters of Sri Caitanya Charitamrita.
Yes, one can say that.
So our next text is text 123, which I can read unless someone else would like to. Certainly welcome to do so. Kevala Nilachale Prabhura Ye Bhaktagana Sankshepe Kariya Kichu Se Sabakatana. Let me briefly describe some of the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. Nilachale Prabhu Sange Yata Bhaktagana Sabara Adhyaksha Prabhura Marma Duijana Paramananda Puri Ara Svarupa Damadara Gadadhar Jagadananda Shankara Vakreshvara Damodara Pandita Thakur Haridas Raghunatha Vaidya Ara Raghunatha Das. Among the devotees who accompanied the Lord in Jagannath Puri, two of them, Paramananda Puri and Svarupa Damodar, were the heart and soul of the Lord. Among the other devotees were Gadadhara, Jagadananda, Shankara, Vakreshwara, Damodar Pandit, Thakur Haridas, Raghunath Vaidya, and Raghunath Das. The Chaitanya Bhagavat Antyakhanda, chapter 5, states that Raghunath Vaidya came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when the Lord was staying at Panihati. He was a great devotee and had all good qualities. According to the Chaitanya Bhagavata, he was formerly Revati, the wife of Balaram. Anyone he glanced upon would immediately attain Krishna consciousness. He lived on the seashore at Jagannath Puri and compiled a book of the name Sthana Nirupana. Any comments on this, Maharaj?
No.
Panchatattva Prabhu, are you up for reading another set of texts starting with 127?
Ityadika Purva Sangi Bhadra Bhaktagan Nilachale Rahi Kare Abra Sevan. All these devotees were associates of the Lord from the very beginning. And when the Lord took up residence in Jagannath Puri, they remained there to serve him faithfully. Arjata Bhaktagan Goda Deshavasi Pratyade Prabhure Deke Nilachale Asi. All the devotees who resided in Bengal used to visit Jagannath Puri every year to see the Lord. Nilachale Prabhu Saha Pratama Milan Se Bhakta Ganir Ebe Kariye Ganan. Now let me enumerate the devotees of Bengal who first came to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. Vadasaka Eka Savabhoma Bhattacharya Tara Bhagni Pati Sri Gopinathacharya. There was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, one of the biggest branches of the tree of the Lord, and his sister's husband, Sri Gopinathacharya. Purport. The original name of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was Vasudeva Bhattacharya. His place of birth, which is known as Vijayanagar, is about 2.5 miles away from the Navadvip railway station, or Chanpahati railway station. His father was a very much celebrated man of the name Maheshwara Visharada. It is said that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was the greatest logician of his time in India. At Mithila in Bihar, he became a student of a great professor named Pakshadhara Mishra, who did not allow any student to note down his explanations of logic. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so talented, however, that he learned the explanations by heart, and when he later returned to Navadvip, he established a school for the study of logic, thus diminishing the importance of Mithila. Students from various parts of India still come to Navadvip to study logic. According to some authoritative opinions, the celebrated logician Raghunath Shiromani was also a student of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's. In effect, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became the leader of all students of logic. Although he was a grihasta, a householder, he even taught many sannyasis in the knowledge of logic. He started a school at Jagannath Puri for the study of Vedanta philosophy, of which he was a great scholar. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he advised the Lord to learn Vedanta philosophy from him. But later, he became a student of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to understand the real meaning of Vedanta. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was so fortunate as to see the six-armed form of Lord Chaitanya, known as Shadbhuj. A Shadbhuj deity is still situated at one end of the Jagannath temple. Daily Sankirtan performances take place in this part of the temple. The meeting of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is vividly described in Madhya Lila, chapter 6. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya wrote a book of 100 verses named Chaitanya Shataka or Sushloka Shataka. Two other verses he wrote, beginning with the words Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga and Kalannashtam Bhakti Yogam Nijam Yaha, are very famous among Gaudiya Vaishnavas. The Gauravanadesh Deepika states that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was an incarnation of Brihaspati, the learned scholar from the celestial planets. Gopinathacharya, who belonged to a respectable Brahmin family, was also an inhabitant of Navadvip and a constant companion of the Lord. He was the husband of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's sister. In Gauro Ganadesh Deepika, it is described that he was formerly the gopi named Ratnavali. According to the opinion of others, he was an incarnation of Brahma. Well, we're being introduced to important personalities that we'll meet further along in Chaitanya Charitamrita Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Lord Chaitanya, his pastimes involve freeing people from illusion. In the case of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the illusion involved being affected by the impersonalist understanding of Vedanta. As we'll see in the Bhajya Lila, Lord Chaitanya listens to his discourses for days and days. And when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is finished and asks him if he's understood, as I recall, he basically rejects what he has said as not understandable at all, because it's not reflecting the truth of the Vedanta Sutra. So Lord Chaitanya goes on to speak the actual fact, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya becomes essentially his disciple, and then spends his life glorifying Lord Chaitanya and teaching the right way. This is part and parcel of Lord Chaitanya's mission, and we are fortunate to witness it in these pages. Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj, would you like to say something? It's quite a purport.
And for the people in general, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave kirtan prasadam, but when there was a scholar like Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was equipped to deal with him, to speak on Vedanta philosophy. Also, it's noted, of course, the whole narration is extensive, but it's noted that by the desire of Gopinathacharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya received the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and became a great Vaishnava. Otherwise, Gopinathacharya was always preaching to him about the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about Krishna consciousness. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was impenetrable. Nothing could get through to him. But by the desire of Gopinathacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took on the job and delivered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, the great logician. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. There are some comments. Praveen Krishna Prabhu comments, the place of his residence, I'm assuming he means Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's residence, is nicely maintained by the Gaudiya Math near to Navadvip town. And Saraswati Devi says, I heard in a class that Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was targeted for a kill due to envious scholars and Varanasi, and he went to Navadvip for protection under King Prataparudra, serving in that royal court. Also that he was a Mayavadi, but due to helping Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he fainted in the temple due to ecstasy, he got Sukriti and received the Lord's mercy.
Yes, that's also there, that he had some affectionate feeling toward Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was older, so naturally he felt some affection for this very lustrous, beautiful young sannyasi, and he was naturally concerned when the Lord fainted in the Jagannath temple and brought Lord Chaitanya to his own home. So that's another cause for receiving the causeless mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I'm not aware of this pastime of his being targeted for assassination. I'm just not aware of it.
All right, Krishna. So wanted to see actually whether Dana was available to read or not. We have our next text is text number 131. But if not, that's okay. Yovananandamata, would you like to read some more?
Yes, I finally found it on my Kindle. Okay. Text 131, correct?
Correct.
Kashi Mishra Prajumna Mishra Raya Bhavananda Yanhara Milane Prabhu Paila Ananda. In the list of devotees of Jagannath Puri, which begins with Paramananda Puri, Sarup Damodar, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and Gopinath Acharya, Kashi Mishra was the fifth, Prajumna Mishra the sixth, and Bhavananda Rai the seventh. Lord Chaitanya took great pleasure in meeting with them. Purport. In Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya lived at the house of Kashi Mishra, who was a priest of the king. Later, this house was inherited by Vakresha Pandit, and then by his disciple Gopalaguru Goswami, who established the deity of Radhakanta there. The Guru Ganadesh Deepika states that Kashi Mishra was formerly Kubja in Mathura. Prajumna Mishra, an inhabitant of Orissa, was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prajumna Mishra was born of a Brahmana family and Ramananda Roy of a non-Brahmana family. Yet, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Prajumna Mishra to take instructions from Ramananda Roy. This incident is described in the Antya-lila chapter 5. Bhavananda Roy was the father of Sri Ramananda Roy. His residence was in Alanath, Brahmagiri, which is about 12 miles west of Jagannath Puri. By caste, he belonged to the Karana community of Orissa, whose members were sometimes known as Kayastas and sometimes as Sudras. His son Ramananda Roy was a governor of Madras under the control of King Prataparudra of Jagannath Puri. Would someone like to comment?
Maharaj, would you like to say something on this?
The place of Kashi Mishra at Puri is still there, and it's known as Radhakanta Mat. I don't have more.
All right. Let's see.
Except that they chant there some mantra that we reject.
There's some comment here. There's a follow-up from Saraswati Mata's previous comment about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. She says, I've also heard that the Bhattacharya's descendants still have his original writings on a leaf and refuse to give it for our Vedic museum. And Meena Mataji says, well, the residence given by Kashi Mishra is also known as the Gambhira today. There is a lamp lighted there and has been for a long time.
Could I say something?
Yes.
In this edition of Caitanya Charitamrita I have, it's the last sentence is different. I looked on the database, and indeed what Yoganananda read is correct according to the database. Here, it's not mentioned that his son Ramananda Roy was the governor of Madras. It just reads as, Bhavananda Roy, belonged to the Karna community of Orissa, whose members were sometimes known as Kayastas and sometimes as Sudras. But he was the governor of Madras under the control of King Prataparudra of Jagannath Puri. So it appears that there was a correction made to the text. And actually, it seems to make sense that his son, Ramananda Roy, was the governor of Madras. It's wrong in my book.
Yeah, the online database is sometimes a little bit behind the current iteration of the actual database, so that we see things like that sometimes. Let's see.
This was in this saying that Bhavananda Roy was the governor of Madras. That's in my Caitanya Charitamrita volume. Anyway.
Hare Krishna. Let's see. Yeah, a bit more time.
Dravida Prabhu has done a lot of service by going through Caitanya Charitamrita and finding so many issues in need of correction.
I'm glad he fixed that, because that's really wrong.
Shara Mataji, would you like to read some more? Starting at text 132?
Sure. Alingana Caritamrita Balila Vachana Tumi Pandu Pancha Pandava Tomara Nandana. Embracing Rai Bhavananda, the Lord declared to him, you formerly appeared as Pandu, and your 5 sons appeared as the 5 Pandavas. Text 133. Ramanandaraya Patanayaka Gopinata Kalanidhi Sudhanidhi Nayaka Vaninata. The 5 sons of Bhavananda Rai were Ramananda Rai, Patanayaka Gopinath, Kalanidhi, Sudhanidhi, and Nayaka Vaninath. Text 134. E Panchaputra Tomara Mora Priyapatra Ramananda Saha Mora Deha Bedamatra. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Bhavananda Rai, your 5 sons are all my dear devotees. Ramananda Roy and I are one, although our bodies are different. Purport. The Gora Ganodesha Dipika 120-24 states that Ramananda Rai was formerly Arjuna. He is also considered to have been an incarnation of the Gopi Lalita, although in the opinion of others, he was an incarnation of Vishaka Devi. He was a most confidential devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Although I am a sannyasi, my mind is sometimes perturbed when I see a woman. But Ramananda Roy is greater than me, for he is always undisturbed, even when he touches a woman." Only Ramananda Roy was endowed with the prerogative to touch a woman in this way. No one should imitate him. Unfortunately, there are rascals who imitate the activities of Ramananda Roy. We need not discuss them further. In Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's final pastimes, Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar always engaged in reciting suitable verses from Srimad Bhagavatam and other books to pacify the Lord's ecstatic feelings of separation from Krishna. When Lord Chaitanya went to southern India, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya advised him to meet Ramananda Roy, declaring that there was no devotee as advanced in understanding the conjugal love of Krishna and the gopis. While touring South India, Lord Chaitanya met Ramananda Roy by the bank of the Godavari, and in their long discourses, the Lord took the position of a student, and Ramananda Roy instructed him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu concluded these discourses by saying, "My dear Ramananda Roy, both you and I are madmen, and therefore we meet intimately on an equal level." Lord Chaitanya advised Ramananda Roy to resign from his government post and come back to Jagannath Puri to live with him. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused to see Maharaj Prataparudra because he was a king, Ramananda Roy, by a Vaishnav scheme, arranged a meeting between the Lord and the king. This is described in the Madhya Lila, chapter 12, verses 41-57. Sri Ramananda Roy was present during the water sports of the Lord after the Rath Yatra festival. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered Sri Ramananda Roy and Sri Sanatana Goswami to be equal in their renunciation. For although Sri Ramananda Roy was a grihasta, engaged in government service, and Sri Sanatana Goswami was in the renounced order of complete detachment from material activities, they were both servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who kept Krishna in the center of all their activities. Sri Ramananda Roy was one of the 3.5 personalities with whom Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed the most confidential topics of Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Pradyumna Mishra to learn the science of Krishna from Sri Ramananda Roy. As Subal always assisted Krishna in his dealings with Radharani in Krishna Lila, so Ramananda Roy assisted Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his feelings of separation from Krishna. Sri Ramananda Roy was the author of the Jagannath Vallabha Nataka. I don't really have anything to say, but I would love to hear from others, especially Maharaj, if you would like to say something.
Now there are books that could be written about Ramananda Roy. About Gopinath Patanayak, by the way, later in Antya-lila, we find that he was nearly executed for transgressing the laws of the king, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused to intervene. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says instructively, Mahaprabhu instructed that a Vaishnava should follow the law. But of course, by the grace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gopinath Patanayak was promoted to an even better position that he had. But it's there that although we hear he's among the most intimate devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused to step in. Ramananda Roy, of course, is one of the, it's mentioned here, one of the 3.5 devotees who were with whom Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed the most intimate activities of Krishna. That's Swarup Damodar, Ramananda Roy, Shiki Mahiti, and Shiki Mahiti's sister. We'll hear later in Chaitanya Charitamrita about how Ramananda Roy assisted Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in relishing the taste of Krishna Lila and the depth to which their relationship was manifest. And here it's mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, upon meeting Ramananda Roy, at the end of their meeting, said, "You and I are both like madmen." So that's the fact that they were mad after Krishna and mad for speaking about Krishna. It wasn't a formal Bhagavatam class that we're looking at our watch. We have 5 minutes to go. But they were relishing on the highest ecstasy of spontaneous love for Krishna. No ordinary person can imitate the activities of Sri Ramananda Roy. No ordinary person, or no even extraordinary person, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so there's no second person who can act on such an exalted platform as Ramananda Roy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. We're almost at the end of time. A couple comments are in the chat here. I'd like to read. Kovur is the place, Praveen Krishna Prabhu says, Kovur is the place where Ramananda and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met. There is the Ramananda Gaudiya Math established by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, along with Lord Chaitanya's footprints. Also the place of Samvad by the bank of the Godavari. Panchatattva Prabhu says, I'm curious to know how Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya came to understand Ramananda Roy's exalted position as a Vaishnava and recommended that Lord Chaitanya meet him. After all, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya had only recently been a logician steeped in an impersonal understanding of Vedanta.
I don't have a comment about that.
Okay.
Mystery.
Further research required. All right, so it's time for Kirtan. Let's see here. Dana Mataji, would you like to lead Kirtan? We haven't heard you lead in a while. If you're able to, please go ahead. Or Saraswati Mata comments, wouldn't his brother-in-law have told him? Perhaps. Hare Krishna. Panchatattva Prabhu, would you like to chant?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Vrivrajacharya Astotra Sata Shri Shimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Vrivrajacharya Astotra Sata Shri Shimad, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Gangamayi Ki Jai. Yamunamayi Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samabeta Bhakta Vrindi Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gora Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Panchatattva Prabhu, and thank you everyone for being here. Marai Gupta Prabhu says, thank you, Maharaj. Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Raveen Krishna Prabhu says, thank you. Sri Caitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. His Holiness Jayadvaita Maharaj Ki Jai.
Amaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Thank you, Panchatattva Prabhu. Hare
Thank you,
Thank you,
Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Thank you, Shana. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Krishna Kantiya Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you to all.
Thank you,
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Venkatesh. Hare Krishna. Jaya.